Dear friends, today we will speak about the glory of the soul. So in the scriptures, actually, the glory of the soul is described, believe it or not. Scriptures usually describe the glory of the Lord, but they also described the glory of the soul. So what inspired me to start Gita coaching is 229 verse from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 29. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. So, soul, you may think soul refers maybe to somebody else, but actually soul refers to you, to each and every one of us. So in the Bhagavad Gita, also Srila Prabhupada writes, when a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. Then also there is a mention there is a quote from Katha Upanishad 1 to 20. Anur aniyan mahato mahiyan atmasya jantor nihito guhayam tam akratu pashyati vita shoko datu prasadan mahimanam atmanaha. So there are two kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul, Anu-Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu-Atma. Both the super soul, Paramatma, and the atomic soul, Jivatma, are situated on the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all material desires, as well as lamentations, can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. So the soul is glorious when it reawakens its original spiritual consciousness, or Krishna consciousness, or God consciousness. Otherwise, in the material world, one can gain some fame and name, but this is very temporary, and this is related to material activities. So the devotee is the most glorious personality because he is engaged in the highest welfare activities for the benefit of the whole world. And we have different personalities who are considered to be glory of their family, like Dhruva Maharaj was the glory of the family of Swayambhuva Manu, and he is also the glory of the entire human society, Prahlad Maharaj. So these are wonderful examples from the scriptures of glorious personalities, and every one of you can become glorious if you become saintly and if you awaken your divine qualities. Actually, the living being has no connection with this material enjoyment, nor with lusty desires. He is simply imagining or dreaming while asleep. But by the association of pure devotees, he is awakened, and immediately the spirit soul is situated in his own glory by understanding his constitutional position as the eternal servant of the Lord. So people look for fame or glory in material activities, But the real glory is to understand the real self and the connection of the real self with the Supreme Self. And that connection is connection of service. That is glorious. My dear King, whoever takes shelter of the servant of the Lord is certainly glorified, because he can without difficulty give up the bodily conception. So the person is glorious if they can give up the bodily conception of life. What does that mean? It means that one actually stop identifying with the body and start identifying with the soul. The Lord is always glorious, whether the devotee glorifies him or not. But if the devotee engages in glorifying the Lord, the devotee himself automatically becomes glorious. So one becomes glorious by glorifying the Lord and by glorifying his devotees, especially his pure devotees, because the Lord is most glorious and his devotees are most glorious. By virtue of self-realization, fortified by service rendered to his feet, devotees of the Lord dispel the bodily concept of life, which has bewildered the soul since time immemorial. Thus, they attain eternal glory in his personal association. So another detail, another explanation is how one attains glory. One attains glory in personal association of the Lord. So this is related to what we mentioned before, that the bodily concept of life bewilders the soul since time immemorial, and by self-realization, strengthened or fortified by the service rendered to the Lord or to his lotus feet, devotees actually get free from the bodily concept of life. So how to get free from the bodily concept of life? One can get free by devotional service to the Lord. Service rendered to the Lord is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and by the potency of such service, one becomes liberated and his activities becomes glorious. So another aspect of the glory of the soul is that the soul actually can become liberated from the modes of material nature, liberated from material consciousness, liberated from the pressure and influence of the material energy. How? By the potency of the service rendered to the Lord. So that service is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. And this is also how we can reawaken our original Sat Chit Ananda nature, and that means our nature that is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. When someone accepts the meaning and the import of Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads directly, as they are stated, such a person becomes glorified. So if one understands first the meaning of the Vedas and of the essence of the Vedas, and that's Vedanta Sutra, that person becomes glorious. And there is a mention of Akrura, Krishna's uncle Akrura. He said, certainly Krishna and Balaram will call me Akrura uncle, and at that time my whole life will be glorious. So unless one is recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his life cannot be successful, and his life cannot be glorious. So how can one become recognized by the Lord? Simply by engaging in devotional service, which starts and continues with chanting the holy names of the Lord. People in general have a natural inclination to read narrations in which ordinary jivas are glorified. But when they become attracted by the Vedic scriptures, which delineate Krishna's eternal pastimes, they actually dip into the ocean of transcendental bliss. As long as we are alive, our name, form, and activities are glorious, but as soon as the life is gone, the body is just a lump of matter. In actuality, the so-called living are also dead, because the body is simply a lump of matter. As soon as the soul leaves the body, no one would care to see the so-called beautiful body of the woman. The real factor, the real attracting force, is the spiritual soul. So when you see a beautiful person, beautiful woman, or a beautiful man, the reason why they are attractive is not what we see with our eyes, this body, but it's actually the soul within. If there were not the soul within the body, then this person wouldn't be attractive at all. Now, what is the characteristic of a great soul? The great soul is very eager to broadcast glorification of the Supreme Lord. Satatam kirtayanto mam, always glorifying the Lord. These persons are called Mahatmas. Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritim ashitaha. Mahatmanas, they take shelter of the divine energy of the Supreme Lord. They are great souls, and if you want to be a great soul in terms of the Vedic literature, in terms of the Bhagavad Gita, in terms of great saints and sages, then you have to adopt this Krishna consciousness and chanting of Hare Krishna. So this is the way how to become Mahatma, or a great soul. And the more gloriously one worships the deity, decorates the deity of Krishna as gorgeously as possible, the more gorgeous this person will be. That is the secret. So therefore it doesn't matter whether you are Indian or European or American, one who carries out the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world, this person will be benefited and this person will be glorified. So one becomes glorious by spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. By executing the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will be glorified, your country will be glorified, and the whole world will benefit. So if we can introduce Krishna consciousness to every corner of the world, Lord Chaitanya will pour his incessant blessings upon us, and our life will be glorious. Thank you very much.